Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the VSO Gun Channel. Thank you for tuning in. The ATF is at it again. It doesn't seem to ever stop, whether you're talking about direct actions like happened over the holidays with a Maryland man that was literally held at gunpoint and had his children held at gunpoint over legal firearms ownership within the state. I'll probably do a dedicated video on that one tomorrow. Or whether you're talking about sowing the seeds of fear of government persecution for otherwise legal activity, like is going on in the state of Kentucky right now, because they have medical cannabis getting ready to take effect, and the ATF is out there beating the drums, letting them know that, yeah, we're going to come get you. So speaking of putting things into your body that is no business of the government, today's video is brought to you by First Form. First Form is a pro-freedom supplement and nutrition company. And this one's really important, guys, because you can't be free if you're dead because you ate like crap for too long. First Form's main focus is packing protein wherever they possibly can. But today we're actually talking about their pre-workout, their Project One. Now, this is a heavy pre-workout. About 350 milligrams of caffeine is what they're aiming for. This is a little heavy for me, so I use this as a sipper throughout the day. I fill up my cup, shake it up, and then whenever I need a little bit of a bump to get me through a rough spot, I go to my shaker cup. Now, you can get more information on First Form by checking out the pinned comment down below. Using that link helps me out and lets them know that I sent you. And special thanks to First Form for making today's video possible. So in March of this past year, the Kentucky State Legislature passed and the government signed a bill into law that legalized the use of those particular types of products. Now, personally, I don't use these things. I have enough health problems as it is. I don't need to add smoking anything on top of it. So when it comes to this sort of thing, it's not something that touches me directly. However, I also recognize that there are many people out there that use this recreationally and medically. In fact, I have several friends who were injured overseas fighting in the endless war, and they have come off of some of the hardest core pharmaceutical interventions that are out there simply by using this type of product. So I am thoroughly convinced that this is a product that does not belong on the Schedule 1, which is the no medical use. And I believe that originally putting it on that schedule was political in nature. I don't believe that it is anywhere close to any of the big ones that are out there, and or anywhere close to many of the things that are prescribed by doctors erroneously and slung for return profits on a regular basis. So the idea that this thing is still a federally prohibited substance blows my mind. Yet another instance of the government being in the way. We just want to be left alone. And I feel so strongly about that you feel strongly about that I put up a poll a few minutes ago. And yes, definitively, you want to be left alone and have the government out of your way. But that is simply not in the cards, and I'll show you a few things here. The first thing, as a federal firearms licensee, that the ATF will show you every single time you have an inspection of any kind is this letter from 2011. Basically, what this thing says, that if you have any inkling that someone uses this stuff for medical or recreational purposes, including if you see any kind of documentation that suggests that they would have medical access to this sort of thing, no sale. That letter references the Federal Code of Regulations, 18 U.S.C. 922 G3, and it reads as follows. G, it shall be unlawful for any person, and that is in reference to firearms ownership or possession. 3, who is an unlawful user of or addicted to any controlled substance as defined in Section 102 of the Controlled Substances Act, 21 U.S.C. 802. But wait, there's more. Not only if you are caught in possession of both of these things at the same time will you be hemmed up for the respective crimes for those things, but also it is a felony to lie on the federal form and misrepresent in question F on the 4473, which is the firearm transaction record. Are you an unlawful user of or addicted to marijuana, or any depressant, stimulant, narcotic drug, or any other controlled substance? Warning, the use or possession of marijuana remains unlawful under federal law, regardless of whether it has been legalized or decriminalized for medical or recreational purposes in the state where you reside. Yeah, lie on that form, and that's felony, and you will go to jail for it, unless, of course, your name is Hunter Biden. Rules for thee, but not for me, or my crack-addicted international criminal son. I need to stop before I go out on a major tangent. Ahead of the Kentucky law taking effect, the day after Christmas, the ATF came out and told everybody, yeah, we'll be watching, basically. So think about this for a second. Even though the residents of the state of Kentucky will be able to obtain a prescription from their doctor to obtain said products, they can be arrested for that prescription. So distribute any other medication into that point and tell me that that makes sense. It doesn't make any sense. You'll have a hard time. What did the ATF actually say? Quoting the ATF, you cannot possess firearms and ammunition and also be a user of marijuana. If you check yes on that form, you're disqualified from owning a firearm. They also said that people who are already firearms owners that wish to become legal cannabis patients are not expected to turn them over, but if they wish to follow federal law and not be in violation with it, they must make the decision to divest themselves of those firearms. Yeah, frickin' right. That said, I have spoken with many a person who I know has a medical card or uses that sort of thing, and this has come up in conversation, and they're like, oh, well, I just won't get a gun then, because they like their stuff so much. I understand it's a lifestyle. I understand. But to me, the concept of providing for your own safety over having access to a burning plant just doesn't make any sense to me. But I know that other people have different priorities. I don't agree with that. I don't agree that it should be that way. And what I would say is we know that the founders of this nation use all sorts of products. Not just this stuff, but also the opium and various other substances. They never intended for people to be disarmed continuously because they use anything recreationally or especially medically. But I guess what I would say in closing today is these people know that. They are not trying to curtail smoking. They are trying to curtail people's constitutional rights. And they will use any method that they can. Fear of reprisal from the government because you're doing something that is a victimless crime that shouldn't be a crime in the first place is a mechanism to accomplish that. And they know that people that might dabble a little bit will forego armed self-defense and rely on their government to provide it for them because they don't want to get arrested.